Fast announcement that no one is waiting for. I was able to put all my Conlang's words in a vocabulary, which means there are now 20,500 words to explore. But I still need to put images from D to Z, and also it's private, but if someone wants to see it... Back to the video. Normal people get interested in languages because they like how they sound or the word's etymology. Not me. The first time I ever dived into languages was because of these, basically looking at another language script and wanting to know how to read it. So last June or so, I adapted the Korean alphabet to my language Leshing, a personal language and my ultimate creation, which means making up a bunch of characters. Look at the glorious Hangul script, all these sounds are already included. P, T, K, M, N. They all have their Korean counterpart, and all the basic 5 vowels, which have a letter in my Conlang. For the voiceless distinction, I just went voiced for the voiceless and voiceless for the aspirated. I mean, these guys are often written as B, D, G anyway, so easy. But there's a lot of missing ones too, for which I started making my own personal adaptations for phonemes like F, V, Ng, Sh, and to distinguish between L and R or between Z and Ch. The only thing is, Korean has most of these already. I just had to discover the letters that are out of use, so all my previous work wasted. Ignorance makes bad decisions. For the R-L distinction, technically, because this letter when double is pronounced more like L, while the single one is like in between, I decided to go single pronounce R, double letter pronounce L. But if I have the time, the reverse of a letter would be nice for L. If only I remembered how to put non-Unicode letters into Keyman. If you're wondering what I used to make it, Keyman is a nice free site you can use to customize your keyboard for a Conlang. I discovered it thanks to Nga years ago. Here is a sample of my first creation called La Bamba. If you know Italian or Spanish, you'll understand. Going back to adaptations, I wanted to make this symbol as glottal stop in the normal alphabet A, Okina, for whomever knows Hawaiian, mostly because Nga needed its own letter. It can be initial in Leshing, and this one is used for the vowels with no preceding consonants. I guess I have a letter with no sounds at all. Speaking of vowels, there's another story. See, Korean has a bunch of vowels my language doesn't have. I have a 6 vowel system after all, but Korean has less diphthongs than mine. I wanted to use one symbol for A, I, Oi, etc., for which I adapted some letters that Korean use for different sounds. And another problem was that Korean doesn't have a single letter for W and Y. For this reason, I got to get with what I had to form wa, we, we, wo. Technically, I wanted to use these double letters with U or O. The thing is that I wasn't able to put the feature in my keyboard. For some reason, it doesn't stack vowels or coders, only consonants plus vowels. So I decided to give W a letter, using this letter digits for Chinese transcriptions. A different thing is ya, ye, yo, you, using I key and Shift I key for ya and ye, respectively, Shift O key for yo, Shift U key for you. For diphthongs, the Q key is AU, while the rest are typed with Shift. I, A, EU, O using Shift W. Last Oi is supposed to be O plus I, but the stacking doesn't work, probably because that is done by IME, a system that makes possible for Korean keyboards to stack letters together, and my keyboard is not that advanced. That's the way Korean solved it. Maybe there's a better way, I do not know. One thing I'm not sure is whether to leave the schwa sound as a no letter, like in my Latin script for Leshing, or go for this, which in Korean is quite similar sounding. At the moment, I think to just use the full consonant letter, the stackable ones, where consonant can take the schwa sound. And of course it is supposed to have codas for l, m, n, nga, r, s, but well, I tried a million times and again it just lacks the right system to stack letters. This is the final result. Some phonemes now have their own key like sh or ch, instead of being two letters. Pressing consonants with shift key, you can get all the stackable ones as said before, and ideally there would be also for l and sh. Also ideally, the q key would be used for nga, the y key for ts, and the diphthongs and wa, we, we, wo, and maybe even ya, ye, yo, you, with stacking. Anyway, all in all, I like this version of my Conlang's alphabet. It's more phonetic, and there's not use in alternating W and U or Y and I for the same semi-consonant sounds, which was a orthographic choice in the Latin version. Yes, there is no letter Y, but technically there's a bunch of new letters. In fact, we jumped from 27 letters, two of which only using long words, to 39 letters. At least I think. I'm not really sure whether the stacked ones like Y and W really count as one. And that was all. Consider like and sub. Voila, Thanos!